Hello, how you guys doing tonight? Dan Shirley here. I went to put this video together for you guys. I had a little loose time in my hands. I can't get back up to Sierras right now since we cut the last video. We'll be turning up there shortly. I'm keeping an eye on the weather, hopefully in a couple more weeks. In the meantime, I thought I'd put this together for you. The reason being, I had a little info that was passed down to me, and it concerns with the Dr. Miller document. Now, this was passed on to me about a week ago. Up until that time, I had no idea that the document even existed. Okay, so I read the document last week. I read it about 3 or 4 times. And I must tell you, I am really excited about the document, particularly of what he documents in the document. There is things in there that no one would even know in the kind of detail that's in this document unless you were there. I know this for a fact. I've had my own personal experiences with Sasquatch. So was my research partner. I have even saw Sasquatch on quite a few occasions. I know what it is and what it looks like. Now, he would not know that kind of detail, like I said, unless he was there. All right? I just want to get that straight. Before I get started, excuse me, first and foremost, I'd like to thank Donald Redleaf for passing that info down to me. Thank you, Donald. I really appreciate it. Take care, bro. And I'm passing it on to you. Now, I really urge you, ladies and gentlemen, go online and look up the Dr. Miller document. You have to read it. You have to read it. When you get done reading it, I also urge you to go to Bigfoot Evidence and Dan Shirley's Bigfoot theory and read my theory. Read both. I urge you to read both. Now, what I'm about to show you, because if Sasquatch isn't real, then why does the government have a law to protect it? Now, I looked up this law and I found it. And here's what it reads. And you can see that. The harassing of Bigfoot, Sasquatch, or other undiscovered subspecies is a felony punishable by a fine and/or imprisonment. The Undiscovered Species Protection Act. Whereas there is evidence to indicate the possible existence of an undiscovered species, a primate mammal variously described as Bigfoot, Sasquatch, an ape-like creature, or a subspecies of Homo sapiens. Okay. Now this kind of catches me too in the document. 2 words. 1 keyword, primate. He describes in detail that they are primate. Now, how many times have I told you out there it's primate? He also mentions that there's different types of subspecies of Bigfoot and Sasquatch. Now, mind you, like I said, I didn't know nothing about this document or its existence until about a week ago. A couple of years ago alone, I came out with an unknown species that my trail cam caught in one of my research areas. And what did I title it? Unknown subspecies. Correct. According to Dr. Miller, there's classified as about 6 subspecies. Okay? Okay, now we got that straight. Something else I wanted to say too when I got through reading the complete document about 3 or 4 times. The most uncanny thing about it is this. My own personal research concurs, okay? It concurs with the Dr. Miller document. I know these details. Why? Because I've been there. He could only know those details unless he was there. Now, I know there's times that in my research I've had people make comments that I'm chasing something that's not real. They don't exist. Well, I only got one thing to say to people like you. Maybe you don't exist. You ever thought about that? Okay. I want to take you through some videos. Now, in the document, he does mention the Sierra Nevadas. Okay? Where have I been doing my research? I have been up and down the Sierra Nevadas. Okay? Now, the particular species that I am researching as up to date today still is what I classify as a Sierra Nevada Sasquatch. It's one particular type of species. Now, in this video was taken up in the Sierras at one of our research areas where we have been baiting lure bait up here for about 2 years. And we've had cameras up there for a couple years, okay? And as you see the shaking motion, what is happening is there was 3 or 4 of them in the area when the camera triggered. One is actually playing with the camera. That's why the camera's shaking. Okay? Now, give me a little bit more clarity. Maybe go a little smaller. A little smaller. A little more. Hold it. Nah, you missed it. That's a good one there. Now right here, just to the other side of her, this is an alpha female. We know this. She has breasts. This is a little too much blown in, so you're not getting too much detail. Right here, right in the bottom here where Valentine had just had a, there you go. Now you see a better picture of her. Anyway, hold it. There, now you really get a good picture. There's the breast, torso, arm. Now if you notice, the waistline is tapered, indication of primate. Primates have tapered waist. Now, this is a junior adult standing next to her. As you can see, he has the appearance of a primate. No neck, and like I've said before, there's no hair around the face. That's why you're seeing this fleshy area. It's all covered in hair. The hair, the color, the hair is reddish brown. Here's an arm. Off the arm, you can actually see the hair springing from it. Right there. There's its torso. Okay? Now remember I told you they come in 3 different shades of color. Reddish brown, gray, and black. Let's go on to the next one, please. Oh, and the reason that the one video did not come in crystal clarity, the first one I just showed you, the camera was up there for weeks, and when they triggered it, it started off with some clarity, but as the batteries were so low, and then the batteries went dead, so it just went to a blur, okay? Now, this is much better. This is in the same vicinity. This is another group of the same, this is a few other Sasquatches that belong to the same group, okay? The first one I showed is a female, that's an alpha female. Now, right here, when as soon as the squares there go away, we'll see them. There we go. Okay. There's a large male right there. You see him? There's the head. No neck. You notice He has a protruding brow. Shoulders, there's the chest area, here's an arm, and here's the rest of the body going down, okay? There's another one right back in here, and there's another one back in here. Now this one here, I believe, is an alpha male. I went back to the site I measured from the tree where the top of his head was. I measured it from the base of the tree. Approximately 9 feet in height, weight 600 plus pounds. Ladies and gentlemen, this is no hoax and this is no fake. This is the real thing. That is a Sierra Sasquatch. That is a large male. Okay, let's go to the next one. Now, this particular video, now this is a sweetheart one, okay? This happened about 3 years ago. We have been coming down this canyon for quite a while, up this ridge. You drop down this canyon, it's about 35-degree angle, and it drops down about 200 to 300 feet. At the base of it, there's a flowing creek. Comes right through here. Me and Garland were positioned down in this area, up against a log, a fallen log. We had our binoculars out and we're in observation mode. I'm observing to the left of me, he's observing to the right of us. We do this quite often, so we cover a 360. So, as we're sitting there, all of a sudden, I see this dark object coming up from the canyon. This here's that is the flowing creek that I mentioned, you see. I had to show you that. I'm filming this by hand. Right up in here, I saw the large male coming down the canyon, just strolling. And when they walk, it's kind of like, and that's how they move. And that's how he was just strolling down the canyon. Like it was nothing. Me and Garland struggled like hell getting down there, hanging on deer lap off of trees from not falling down the canyon. This guy's going down it like an athlete. Like he was built for it, which he was. Anyway, as he walked down here, I looked at Garland and I said, hey, there looks like some guy dressed in black just come down that canyon. By the time Garland turned and looked, I saw him. I saw it in full bulky leaf about 60 yards from me, and he went right behind that foliage. That's him right there. See it? That's him. This would be the head area, these are his arms, but that's him. He's behind this wall of foliage, and from time to time, he would take the foliage and do this, and he would pull it apart and peer through it at us, and then close it back up. The same trait a gorilla would do. At one point, he actually half stood up and he stretched his arms all the way up like this, above the foliage where I could see shoulders up to his fingertips. Both. Okay? It was a large male, covered in black hair, no hair on the facial area, approximately 8.5 to 8 feet tall, about 400 to 500 pounds. And what I saw distinctively was the first thing that caught my eye was the fact it appeared to be primate. Okay. Now, we're going to go to the last video. Okay. Freeze it right there. Oh, right there. Beautiful. Okay. Now, this is the one I classify as a subspecies. Could this be a subspecies of Sasquatch is the title of my video. Okay? This same video was captured off a trail cam in the same vicinity where we have been doing research on the family of them. Now, the reason I classified this as a subspecies because it had all the characteristics of a Sasquatch, except something was different about it. Something was a little more odd. The height principle was perfect. The size and weight was perfect. But there was a few other things a little different. Didn't make sense. Confused me for a while. But I got that all straightened up now. Now, back to Dr. Miller document. He says himself, there is a subspecies of Bigfoot and Sasquatch. It's in the document. Read the document. Now, I told you a while ago, I had no understanding that this document was even out or even existed. How could I, a couple years ago, classify such a creature as a subspecies? Now, this is why I say my personal research and this document concurs with each other. He mentions it, subspecies, primate, Bigfoot, Sasquatch. Half a dozen different classifications, subspecies of Sasquatch. Now, what makes this one unique is what I've been trying to figure out through the years. He says that he had examined one that was dead. What made it different, he said it was primate. You would think it was Bigfoot and Sasquatch, except it had a few different traits in it. Okay? Now I'm gonna run that through you. So, or I'm gonna run it for you. Let's go back to the beginning. Okay, right here, hold it. I'm gonna kill two birds with one stone right now. Okay, number one. You have to understand that when this was taken late at night, infrared camera, but it takes color pictures at night. Okay, this here is a subspecies. The hair is way too long out of any bear's range. The massive size, I measured where it would be at that. It was over 7 feet tall. It was close between 7 and 8 feet tall, 400 plus pounds. This is actually, you could call it a paw, you could call it a hand. It functions at both. He has such detail in the document. Okay, look it. There's a thumb. What we got? Knuckle. There's a finger. And right here, you can see the finger is actually curving over and it's grabbing, pulling it down. Bears cannot do this, okay? You can't do it. It's that simple. I've seen bear in the wild. I've taken them on my trail cams. I've studied bears the way they do feed in their habitat. They do not do this. They cannot grab a branch and pull it down. Let's go to the last part. Hold it. Nah, missed it. Oops. Right there. Now, this is not the paw of a bear. Up here where the metacarpal pad would be on a bear, this is overextending. It does not have that much padding. This is extra padding. He describes this in the document. Down here you got 2 round carpal pads. He also goes into detail on that. At the rear of the hand, there's a rear of the hand. Bear do not have 2 round carpal pads. This is not the paw of a bear. Bear have 1 right in the middle. All predators known to man, 1 round carpal pad on the bottom right here in the rear. This is extra padding for the hand area. Okay? So let's get over it about bears, no bear. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I hope you guys like this video. I just thought I'd run this run it through for you. Hope you enjoy it. I'll see you in a couple of weeks. I'll be back up in this area garden. So, hey, take care. Have a good one.